Saturday continues in the sunshine at the Gabba, a game with big importance for both these sides. Brisbane unbeaten at home this year, looking to sew up a top two spot. St Kilda looking for a home final. So much to play for as the final round comes to you on a Saturday afternoon. David King and Jason Dunstall beside me. Kingy, just one change for the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, Lincoln McCarthy goes out with a calf injury, and he's been important this year. 23 goals. He's hit the scoreboard the last 7 weeks in a row, so he's a loss. But Kai Lohmann, what a time to get your opportunity in round 24. He comes in as the sub in his 8th game of AFL footy. What can he offer in round 24 to give himself a chance to represent Brisbane in a final series?
Jason Dunstall is here for Saturday afternoon football as well as we have a look at the Saints. Good afternoon to you, Jason.
Well, good afternoon, Harry. Good afternoon all. Really interesting to see Max King being managed. They know they're playing finals, the Saints, even though there is still an impact from this match tonight as to where they finish on the ladder. Max King is being managed, so they will have him ready to go fresh for the final step. Ross is out. Jack Hayes. Well, aren't we thrilled to see this big man back into the lineup? First game since round 6. 2022. Did the ACL. He then broke a bone in his foot in the pre-season. He's had all sorts of injury problems. He's fought his way back. And as you mentioned about Kai Lohmann, King, all of a sudden you get a chance to come in late in the season and maybe, just maybe, he kicks a few goals and they say, well, we're going to have to play him week 1 of the finals regardless of Max King backing up, coming back into the lineup. And this is how important the contest is. You get a home final if they win. No problems. Terrific. But you could go as low as 8th if you get beat today, and you might even have to travel interstate. So still plenty at stake for the Saints today.
And the same can be said for the Brisbane Lions, Jason. I mean, the ramifications are huge when you factor in a win here and you stay in Brisbane from here on in. Next time you see them in Melbourne is grand final day, September 30 at the big dance. Chris Fagan is just always a little bit nervous in the box, and he knows that if they lose, they get slipped to 4th. And that would be a problem going to potentially the MCG first week to play Collingwood, who have sewn up top spot on the ladder last night. They've won 1 of their last 15 at the MCG. The next time they want to go there, Jason, is grand final day.
It's the classic irresistible force against the immovable object today, isn't it?
I like it.
The #1 defence in the business against the #1 offence. Have a look at the difficulty in travelling to the Gabba over the last 2.5 to 3 seasons. 29-3. That is extraordinary, and they have not lost a game there this season, Kingy.
And it'll be the first time in the Brisbane Lions history that they've been undefeated at home in one given home and away season. So they've had some pretty good teams over the journey, Howie, and this would be some sort of record to be proud of.
Incredible record. The captain's getting ready to wander out into the middle and toss the coin. Glorious conditions. Alistair Lynch not too far away. Congratulations to big Oscar McInerney. Had a little baby this week with his partner Rachel. Had a young bloke called Finn. So well done to them. And congratulations to the Brisbane crowd, Jason, your neck of the woods, the 5th sellout for 2023 up there.
It is fantastic news, isn't it? We're starting to see a few Finns come into the game, and maybe the next generation there'll be some more of them. Outstanding.
Live ladder Collingwood sewing up top spot with their win last night. But Adelaide, Melbourne still to play Carlton versus the Giants. What a game that'll be as we go out in the middle.
So Jack, tell me your call when you're ready. That was just the call. And it heads it is. Thanks, guys.
Harrison Andrews wins the toss as Alistair Lynch joins us for the first time this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Lynchy.
G'day, Howie. It's certainly a great place to be this afternoon here at the Gabba. 22 degrees and the sun's just about to set beyond that western stand. And if it's perfect conditions to be a spectator, it's even better to be a key forward. And Eric Hipwood plays game 150 today. We know that he was drafted in 2015 as pick 14. He's played 40 games since he did his ACL in 2021 against the Saints, and he's building nicely now and playing in some career best form with some PBs in some important spaces with marks inside 50, score involvements as well. But most importantly, and one of the issues for Eric was the gap between his best and worst was too great, but now he's playing a deeper brand of football and, importantly, halving contests. So it's not just about marks and goals. He's much better at halving contests along with Joe Danaher. They will both play significant roles today and over the next month.
You're right, Lynchy, against the most miserly defensive setup in the business. A massive role for Danaher and Hipwood up forward. And we're going to see a great battle in the midfield as well. Lockie Neal's been down for a while. He's just starting to show signs of his best form again. So it looks like Cordy is going to go to Danaher. Battle has Hipwood.
Owens is in the middle alongside Lockie Neal, and McInerney, the new father, up against Marshall, who has been in fantastic form in the last couple of months. He's been wonderful for St Kilda. A lot to play for. Saturday, twilight footy from the Gabba gets underway. McInerney down towards Owens and Marshall with the first clear possession of the afternoon. High into the sunshine. A couple of Brisbane players arrive on the scene. Archie was good with goals last week. He's got no room to move, though, with the Saints.
Yeah, probably needed to fire that hand pass out as soon as he broke free of the initial tackle. Once he took it back in, he was always going to be in trouble.
And Jack Steele goes short and across. Windager now to Hill.
This is the man you want delivering the ball.
Well, they want to get the ball to 3 or 4 designated kickers, the Saints.
Drops it to 30 from home. Big fly from the back of the pack. Hayes is there, but it's beautifully done by big Oscar McInerney to start his game.
Wow. That was some grab at full back.
It was a really good kick from Hill coming in because it was for Hayes to have a run and jump at it. They just didn't factor the big O being there.
Not such a good kick exiting. Straight to his opposing ruckman in Marshall. Now Sinclair. What he's having, just chips it perfectly weighted to Gresham.
And that's what we're talking about. They want to get the ball in the hands of Hill, Sinclair, the good quality ball users to bring the ball inside 50. He's having a fantastic season, Brad Hill.
Tell you what he did do too, Gresham. He just fumbled it and then dove inbound just to improve the angle a little bit at the end.
20 goals for the season, kicked 3 in round 22 versus the Tigers, did Jade Gresham. By just helping him a touch with the angle for a perfect start for St Kilda. They come at him from all angles. Gee, it was good pressure on the mark by the Lions. And it affected an errant kick in the end.
Uncontracted, hasn't really got an offer that suits him in front of him, Kingy. What happens to Jade Gresham at the end of the season from a St Kilda perspective?
Well, every week's important. If he has a big final series, Jason, they may fall back in love.
It was a clever kick from McKenna. He just pulled it on the angle to Charlie Cameron.
Oh.
And there is Eric Hipwood with his first look in game 150. Congratulations to Eric.
Dangerous.
Casual off 1 foot. Sinclair with the spoil. McCluggage is aware. Steele gets the hands above the tackle. Back towards McCluggage. Stripped of the football immediately. Sinclair. It's a quick hand pass across. Now back to Battle. See something on the 45. Good kick. Against Dunkley, it was there, I think, Jason.
It was. He wanted to stop the quick hand pass, but he actually put the hand in and made contact with the ball. You'll see the left hand there. He just slaps the ball out of his hand. That's a silly one, just gifting a goal.
This is a fast start from the Saints. Full of energy. Made it very difficult for the Lions to move the ball. On the last 2 occasions, they exited their D50.
But occasionally from here, Gresham, he's had 1 opportunity already. And he gets the opener for the Saints.
Well, I think when you're on one of the toughest road trips in the business, you need to start well. You need to keep the crowd out of the game as long as possible. You need to get your own confidence up, and the Saints have done that. What they have done is they've controlled the territory. The game's been played in their forward half since the first bounce.
He's been really solid the last couple of weeks. 22 and 21 disposals. He kicked 3 against the Tigers. He's full of energy, full of beans. They need their smalls involved in the forward half to maintain this energy.
So couldn't convert the snap, but no problems with the set shot directly in front. Gresham to get St Kilda away to a nice little start. Brisbane yet to hit the board. Neal, Dunkley. Immediately applying the tackle on Crouch. High ball. Tough one for the aerialists. Wilmot does well in front of Hill.
It's an impressive young player, Darcy. Love what he's brought to the table for the Lions this season. Really growing in stature.
First 3 games were finals. What a way to start his career.
He's got great dash out of the back 6. He takes the game on.
Pinpoint ball from Zorko to Berry on the move for the first time this afternoon. The Lions deep ball. Joe's in good position. had his name on it as soon as it left the boot and headed in his direction via Berry.
Don't downplay the work of Oscar McInerney, who knew the kick was going to Danaher. He put body on body around him so that he could virtually take an uncontested mark in the end, which should sew up the game. You'll just see him just to the left there, holding Rowan Marshall out of it. He knew where the ball was going.
Danaher for 50 goals for the season. He hits the post from point blank.
Well, that's clearly a man that's been playing too much time as the second ruck, Jason. Kicking like that.
That's what you get from Joe, though, isn't it? You get one with the lot. Could be anything.
Gee, that's a miss.
That was a bit of old Joe, though. We've seen he's much more consistent this year. And here's this miss here. Ooh, no good.
That was a horrible ball drop.
Top of the goal square.
Yep. It's harder to miss than it is to kick it from there.
As I said, it would have been his 50th goal. He's only ever done that once, and he still waits on 49. Remarkable miss, really. McInerney started well. Farlerwood obviously agrees with the big fella.
Crowd wanting 50, but it was in the act of marking.
He's looking for a handball, Oscar.
Yeah, in the end, it's the right option to give.
McKenna's happy to take it. Sends it deep to the square area again, but Marshall positions himself nicely. He's having a great season, David King, this man.
Yeah, he has. He's had 23 and 24 the last 2 weeks, which is terrific for the big ruckman. He's getting involved. He's the #1 contested possession ruckman in the comp, Marshall. That's crept up on a few. He's a beauty.
Hill with that beautiful kicking style. Just punches it out towards Battle on the outer flank. Nearly runs out of room. Eventually gets the kick away through the hands of Steele. Now the Lions will load again. St Kilda got the answers in the air. There might be a free kick there for Wilkie as Eric came back the other way without eyes for the footy.
Yeah, it wasn't a great kick from Berry. Certainly wasn't to the advantage of any of his forwards. You see Charlie Cameron waving his arm, saying it needed to be the other side.
Marshall to Cordy.
Very hard to score against this defensive 50 unit for the Saints. Only Melbourne have a better defensive 50 record this season.
Crouch. Trying to get it clear was Clark, but ineffective. The Lions again. They're starting to get their hands on the footy. Berry's had plenty of it. Going for a third inside 50 ball. Berry. Cameron arrives on the scene. Webster will be under pressure. He'll play it well through Wilkie, and Hills had plenty of it early. Hand passes straight to Bailey. It's a terrible turnover. Rayner should make them pay. Then he dropped the footy.
Gee, they've made a hash of a couple of opportunities to kick goals now.
I don't think I've ever seen Brad Hill do that. To get away with that is some sort of fortune.
Marshall, early body before the ball arrived. Cordy with a clearing hack out of defence. Won by Lions. Now Coleman from 45. Is this the first for Brisbane? It's not. Why are they so good defensively, Dave?
Well, they support back quickly. So Ross Lyon demands that midfielders roll back, take up the usable space. And then their defenders, whilst they're aggressive with their positioning, they expect that a teammate will roll in behind. So effectively, every forward has 2 opponents if they can force the slow play.
David King, Jason Dunstan and Alistair Lynch on Saturday Twilight Football from Brisbane. Contest.
Always fascinated me, that part of our game where the umpire calls play on and the player's over the boundary, hasn't kicked the ball yet. Why isn't it a throw-in? Because the ball's live when the umpire calls play on and you're out of bounds. It's an interesting one when Jimmy Webster's got that ball deep in the back pocket.
You want to bring in another review system to have a look?
No, I'm just curious. It makes no sense to me. If you call play on, the ball's live, and he's over the boundary line, should be a throw-in.
Yep.
Sharman has a free kick after the out and the full off the boot of Harris Andrews, and Payne takes charge of it.
Oscar. Thank you.
Marshall's had 5 already.
Yeah. Hands up, Brendan. Let him run.
Payne under pressure in defence. Hode hand pass away. They've got a couple of issues here. Butler snapping ball out of the pack. Well done, Harris Andrews. Releases it immediately by foot. In the sunshine, Zorko. Cameron feigns, waits, feigns again. Wants someone to come at him. And Joe with a long searching lead. Does well, plays on. Puts it under the arm, takes a bounce, gallops away, drives it inside. Bailey, who regularly pops up inside the 50 region. 26 goals for the season, that's what he can do.
It's a beautiful kick from Danaher. I mean, he can't kick one from 10 out directly in front, but the scything 40-metre kick on the run to a teammate inside 50 is beautiful. You knew he was going to wheel onto the left and keep going, but have a look at this spot up. This is just a perfect kick. Brilliant.
Great representation there from St Kilda. And not a lot wrong on both parties, just brilliant play from Joe.
14-6 in the first 10 rounds, Zach Bailey. 12-10 since. So kicking boot's been a bit less accurate in recent times.
So real early on, you're just getting signs that are we going to get some inaccuracy creeping in amongst the group, just starting to spread. A lack of confidence in front of goals.
And just to confirm, Chief, 22 degrees, perfect conditions, not a zephyr of a breeze here.
Life in Queensland. Sinclair clearing out of defence. Oh, big fly. That's Fletcher taking a nice grab to get things going for his game. Starcevich drives it towards the pocket. Big pack of players. Had a bit more carry. And Charlie Cameron bobbed up at the back. It's a great return. 51 goals. He's kicked 50 in 4 of the last 5. Had the short season with COVID where he didn't hit the mark. He's a beast at home too. Here's Charlie Cameron. Couple of deep breaths. Brings it late. Not quite enough.
4 goals last week, 3 the week before. And a pair of 2s the 2 weeks prior to that. That's a very good month for a small forward on any scale.
He spent time next to Quaynor last week, as you'd realise. King in, he is rarely beaten, so it was a great effort.
St Kilda are happy to play the slow game here. Play the uncontested mark, work the ball slowly up the ground.
Wood with the zinc on.
Gee, that's a good kick.
Good kick, and immediately releasing his Owens. Looks forward, getting a hand on it, doing really well was Darcy Wilmot. Now Neil, back to Wilmot. Ignores the short Coleman lead. Robertson's in the middle. Keeps it short to Zorko. Progressing it with care at the moment, the Lions. Bailey called to go. Sends it deep forward again. Cameron's in a dangerous position if it comes to ground, which it does. Archie, there he is, but the Saints are aware.
So look at the numbers back there for the Saints and how quickly they arrive to support. It really is a thing of beauty that what Ross Lyon has created here in a short space of time.
Joe out of the ruck, straight into Webster. Owens, Clark. Strange spin on the Sherrin.
This is danger time, Jason. These forward 50 stoppages, only Port Adelaide have scored more from forward 50 stoppages through the course of the season. They're on the move, they're excited. You'd see Charlie Cameron normally comes at speed. He's in the goal square on this occasion.
They've held up well, though. I mean, St Kilda had the first 3 inside 50s of the game. It's now 8-4 in favour of Brisbane, yet to kick a goal.
Danaher grabs it out of the ruck. High floating style of football. Hipwood comes back the other way. Wilkie rarely beaten. Cordy thought about trying to do something fancy, then realised it wasn't his go. Sinclair had 36 in round 15 against Brisbane. Good clearing ball. Jack Hayes, round 6, 2022 was his last game versus the Giants, so it's good to see him back out there. A different number he's rolling with 2 in the number 18. Archie tracks it back. Kick doesn't really go anywhere. Gee, Owens puts his head over the footy. Clark back to Owens. Dunkley, Berry, wrestling. Filippo's got his man, though.
Straight back up Owens and straight into it again. That's how he plays. No fuss. Eyes only for the football. Contender for the Rising Star Award this year.
It's a good solid bump. They both turn side on, which is what we want players to do. No head contact.
He missed one game for the season to add to his Rising Star hopes, Owens. That was with concussion protocols. I think he's a live chance, King.
He's certainly in the top three. Now the case for Ashcroft and Sheasel, who are considered in front of him at this point of the season, which is a great space to be in. He'd have to do something special today, I think, to nudge in front of those two.
Pluggage trying to spot a hole in the St Kilda defence. Not an easy thing to do. Again, they go towards the pocket. Big fly again. That is Owens just throwing himself at the footy. Cameron goes one way. Cameron goes another way. Now sends up a high centering ball. He couldn't be tackled. Charlie comes to a dangerous area. Good snap out of the pack by Fletcher. He needs to go over and thank Charlie Cameron, and Brisbane are on the board.
Just kept it alive, Charlie, didn't he? And that's what he was required to do in that instance. We were all thinking maybe can he produce a miracle goal, but in the end, the important part was keeping it alive and then getting it back into the corridor and letting a couple of his teammates try and compete. Hipwood competes well in the air. He's 1 against 2. And then Fletcher's played a really important role since coming into this team. There's a lot to like about Jasper Fletcher. He's a hard nut. He just cracks in at the ball and he takes the game on as well.
It's outstanding play from Hipwood, really. He's defeated 2 aerial combatants from the Saints just to keep that ball alive at the top of the goal square. They weren't able to defensively take it through for a rush behind.
Inside 50s now 9-4 the way of Brisbane. They've kicked the last 2. And the last one, actually, their first goal, 1-5. Inaccuracy prior to that. Apologies. Wood picks it up. Good tackle, really good tackle by Coleman on Filippo.
Yeah, it's not a great idea to balk Kitty Coleman.
He's one of the rising stars in the game, I think. I love the way he controls play off half-back. He's got good run, good speed when he wants to use it, and a beautiful left foot.
There it is, playing game 61. Coleman sends into the path of Archie. Wanganeen-Milera. Battle can't get clear.
Going up.
Marshall found himself in a bit of space, the only ruckman in the contest.
High contact, free kick. Just got to be so careful when you tackle in your defensive 50. Players are so clever now with their turning of the head towards the oncoming contact or a swinging arm. Not ideally what we want when we're trying to say protect the head, but they're challenging the tackler to get everything right. He just slips fractionally high there, does Brad Crouch.
19 goals for the season from Cam Rayner, one of 9 Brisbane Lions to play every game for the season to date. Having a good year. Tight angle. Beautiful kick. Starts to drift late, though.
Dominating here, Jason. 10 of the last 11 inside 50s.
Hasn't transferred to a lead on the scoreboard, though, has it? Albeit, I mean, they're in front by 5 points, but they haven't really put a gap on the Saints at all. So they've held up well down back.
Put too much on it for Wilkie. Hipwood arrives, picks it up in game 150. A little low, scungy ball. Men out, hit the post.
Having said that, they could have 3 or 4 goals on the board very easily. The post to there. Danaher missed one from directly in front. A couple of others that just gone the wrong side of the post. They are pressing Brisbane.
Webster clearing from defence. For Marshall. Windhager rides the tackle. Might get another opportunity. Inches it forward by foot. Berry. Dunkley missed Coleman. Dunkley again. Archie. Slight fumble, comes back to Gresham. Move forward by Butler, good hit on Marshall. Filippo was the only real flyer there. He popped into a little hole.
Gee, it was a good lead in the end. He charged across from the top of 50 and offered up an early opportunity for Marshall to hit him. Wasn't used and just kept tracking back towards the goal square. Owen's coming the other way. The two youngsters, they play a major part in the Saints' fortunes over the next decade. It's just a young man who wants the ball, who wants an opportunity.
Directly in front. Filippo punches it home.
It's a great counter from St Kilda. Josh Dunkley would be disappointed up on the wing. He had two opportunities to release Archie with a hand pass, and he misses him both times. You can see the movement of Filippo just continues to run, pushing into space. Fletcher doesn't go with him, but it's against the run of play. And that's what you've got to do when you get your opportunities. Make the most of it going forward. That's what they've been able to do. Young man with a big future, isn't he?
Yeah.
In the 2022 draft. A good season. Played 22 games prior to today. Crouch needs to release. Got a bit of a shove in the back from Robertson. Got away with it. McInerney wobbling clear up out of the centre. Hipwood attacks it. Cordy doesn't give him any room to operate in.
You just get the sense this is going to be an arm wrestle all day. Brisbane have left the door ajar here with 1 goal, 7 on the board.
Neal. McKenna on the high ball inside. Wilkie reads it beautifully off the boot.
It's going to need to be a good kick from there.
Butler was leading hard. He's going to battle with Coleman, who does it beautifully in the front of the contest.
Oh, lucky to get away with that, Dan Butler, wasn't he?
That rule's changed.
Coleman with a bullet inside. Well head onto by Hipwood.
It's a beautiful kick. A good lead, good play all round, but that's an absolute laser.
Yeah, he's got that in him, Jimmy Coleman, hasn't he?
He shorts it to Zorko.
It's good awareness from Hipwood. Much easier shot from where Zorko is. A few of them that do that now. I think Jeremy Cameron started it, didn't he? Turning it side on and checking the pressure of the ball, and now there's half a dozen of them that do it.
222 goals for Zorko. Slides it home.
Well, he's one they really need to get rolling. Dane Zorko, I think if they're to win the premiership of 23, it's his first goal for a month of footy. He's been hovering around the 20 disposal mark without really tearing a game to shreds like we know he can. An experienced campaigner. He's going to be much needed to impact games at the pointy end as soon as we hit the final. So at 34 years of age, you're not going to get many more opportunities to be the man lifting the cup or holding the cup. It's important from here.
What's really good about that quick little short lead from Zorko is he had Jack Sinclair at the time. You've got to try and make Jack Sinclair accountable because he is the one that starts everything down back for the Saints.
McInerney as far as Crouch.
Oh.
Can't pick it up on the exit. Sinclair arrived. Hair flowing. Stocker by hand. Little shove.
Made the push.
Gee, it was only a little nudge. You get away with that as often as not these days.
Filippo the recipient.
Do not see that paid often.
Memories deep. Hayes is down there as well. Big presence in the goal square. Falls to Wood. Slight fumble. Snap out of the pack. Good finish. Mason Wood.
Comedy of errors there. He's shaking his head. Little push here. Subtle push. You'd never see that paid. He can consider himself Unlucky there, Kitty Coleman. Aggressive kick, probably a fraction on the deep side, really, if you're asking for the perfection. Mason Wood had time enough to fumble and then kick a doosra through the middle of the goals. In the end, the ends justify the means.
A doosra?
It didn't spin at all. It was that bad, it was beautiful.
Both teams are scoring freely, so 6 inside 50s for 4 scores for St Kilda, 12 inside 50s for 9 scores for Brisbane. It's just that too many of them have been behinds from a Lions perspective. The Saints much more efficient.
Great numbers for the Saints when they go inside 50. They trail 12-6, going inside. Ooh. Over the top of Danaher. Cameron falls, Danaher arrives, as does Cameron.
He recovered so quick then, Charlie. He'd be a nightmare to play on. Absolute nightmare. When you think he's got him covered, he's out and gone.
Hold the meter.
The Ruckman are leading all disposal winners in the ground at the moment. Oscar's had 6 for Brisbane. Marshall's had 7 for the Saints.
Danaher grabs it out of the ruck, pinballs off an opponent. Crouch wants holding. Scunging kick out of defence. Neal tries to check side. It doesn't get enough bend on it.
Thought he was going to collect a head when he tried to punch the ball then, Joe, when he had the ball up high. There's a head buried against his chest and the big swinging arm nearly took it off.
Kingy, this is one of the really big improvements from the Brisbane Lions compared to, say, last year. The forward 6 or 7 players down there just hold the ball in their forward 50 and get repeat entries, repeat stoppages, and eventually score. So that's a big strength, and especially when we were talking about Hipwood and Danaher as well earlier.
Marshall with 2 hands. Falls rather fortuitously down to Sinclair. Drives it out towards the wing. Banged inside by the Lions. Gresham arrives. This ball provides an opportunity for Payne. Gets the bounce eventually. Errant hand pass. Could be worrisome. Good tackle applied. Really well done to pull him in there.
Got it.
Higgins.
Wow. The moment he went defend, he had an option to give the hand pass off straight away. He chose not. He's got Harris Andrews there for the hand pass. He tries to fend off the tackle. That should be rewarded.
But stiff there, Higgins. Provided the tackle. Membry. Higgins goes low and hard again.
Gee, they were lucky there, Jason.
Let's go.
McInerney with strength. Clears it out of defence. Works out nicely to Bailey. Half-back flank. Makes Berry work. Lions. Now Dunkley. Series of short kicks. Comes up in the hands of Wilmot. Wants to go inboard. Nothing opens up. So he goes high and deep. Rayner was a late flyer from the back. Just sprung up off one leg. Danaher collared twice. First time by Clark, second time by Wilkie.
See, they close quick, don't they, St Kilda? I think numbers back and then it's go after the man with the ball. No free time, no space offered. Just look there, it's 3v3. Then all of a sudden, they come from everywhere.
Hill. Butler didn't have to break stride. Punched it in. He'll get it back here. Butler continues to move the forward with the footy. Now Gresham opens up inboard. Crouch. He's got options. Runs out of time. Neal tracks back. Good hard running by Lockie Neal. Affects the tackle and the turnover momentarily. Wilmot, Berry. And they're clear. Leicester gathers well. Back to Dunkley. Leicester's continued the run. Sweeping hand pass from Neal was good. The forwards drop back to the square. Now they come at Zorko. Sends it deep. Siren. Brisbane had their opportunities. They lead inside 50, 16-8. Poor kicking though. They lead it by just a point. The home side 2-8-20. The visiting Saints 3-1-19. Quarter time at the Gabba. Both these teams will be playing finals in a couple of weeks' time. Some fond memories, 2020 elimination final. Geary punching it home for the Saints. Bit of emotion from Paddy Ryder as they got over the top of the Dogs. And Brisbane have had some good recent finals, 2022 elimination. Big Joe toe pokes it through. Lockie Neal celebrating. Then they had to come down for the semi-final to the MCG. It hasn't been their area of expertise playing in Melbourne. Charlie Cameron, though, alongside some of his teammates, getting the job done with a big win over Melbourne. So some hopefully big moments for both these teams coming come September. Quarter time here. Brisbane lead it 2-8-20 to St Kilda 3-1-19. Recent finals records, David King. Chris Fagan is the first one we can have a look at. He's 3-6, the Brisbane coach.
Yeah, preliminary finals are hard to win, aren't they? I mean, they're the ultimate test of your fabric as an individual, as a collective, your game plan, the lot. Every club needs to get every decision right to get to a grand final, and I think this is Chris Fagan's best opportunity. He's got the group at the peak of its powers, opportunity to stay at home for the next couple of big finals. We wait and see whether they can deliver upon that or not.
Ross Lyon, now he's got a draw in there as well, which St Kilda fans would well remember. Jason, a lot of experience come September for Ross across various clubs.
It's an extensive record, isn't it? And they'll be looking to balance the ledger come September this time around. Wants to get into the positive ratio, but they're doing everything right. They've been dominated territory-wise in the first quarter here, but their efficiency forward, their ability to rebound and hit the right targets when they do go inside forward. Yeah, have a look there. They are getting a better spread of scores, the Saints, than Brisbane are.
Yeah, and I think that forward half game, bottom left of screen there, 2-6 is the game. I mean, they really could have put them to bed early. They've won the ball back 11 times in their forward half. They only average 23 a game. That just shows you the dominance they're really having for territory at the minute.
It shows you how difficult it is to score against the Saints, who are the stingiest team in the competition. Nothing coming from the back 50 for the Lions at this stage. Transition, not their strength against St Kilda.
And it's funny because there's 11 different players have had those 11 intercepts, and not one of them is Harris Andrews.
Yeah.
He's been a non-factor so far, so they're working their way around Harris. And have been able to score the Saints. The one positive from a St Kilda point of view is the 3 goals from only 8 entries. So if they can elevate that, get their hands on the ball a bit more regularly and start to win some clearance, they may just light up.
Berry's had 9, Dunkley 7 and McInerney 7 for the home side. For the visitors, Gresham 8, Sinclair 8 and Marshall 7 as we're set. Second quarter, ready to go. Saturday afternoon, twilight footy from the Gabba. 1 point lead to an inaccurate home side. McInerney just let the ball fall to the ground. Owens with a clearance. Good entry for the Saints. But Harris Andrews, that's what he does.
You just made comment about him not having an intercept. Kingy, and there's a contested mark interception.
Well, he's taken 30 contested intercept marks for the year, which is amongst the AFL's top 2 or 3.
Dunkley can't complete the mark. Milera steps through a tackle, somehow got a boot. He kicked it off the heel in the end. Battle does just that with Eric.
It was a big one-on-one to win for Harris Andrews. It was a dangerous ball coming in.
Rowan, hold the meter, please.
So good.
Neal, just a slight shove. Got away from Steele, played it nicely. Now McKenna. Wilkie in good position, Lyons manages to bring it to ground, does his job. Owens, battle, under pressure here, the Sainers. Wanganeen-Milera, rangy, impressive young player. Number 40, Wanganeen-Milera. Danaher arrives, punches it down towards Robertson. Crouch with an up and under down the line.
St Kilda prefer to invest numbers in their defensive half, defensive 50, try and diffuse the threat of the opposition scoring at a cost of maybe not being as well represented forward of the ball, as you can see there.
Marshall hit him in the face in the ruck contest.
Jack Steele certainly spending a lot more time with Lachie Neale in this second quarter.
Thanks, Lynchy. We'll keep an eye for that one. Hacked centering ball. Lions did well. Couple of grabs at it. He's more confident with the distance.
He's looking for a handball option as well.
Got him.
That's exactly what he does to Coleman, who was forced to kick as a man came at him. So a real up and under style of ball. Comes to ground by Archie. Cordy, he'll have an issue with that kick.
It really didn't matter if it went out in the full or bounced out, did it?
Put it in the line.
Can they set something up here?
Cameron pointing with his fingers, wants someone to come towards him. In from the side is Hipwood. Dangerous area out the back.
Gee. Got away with one there, Marshall. Thought he was grabbing the big O, took him to a dangerous spot, took him to the deep water. He survives.
Play on.
Sinclair to reset. It's an aggressive ball straight down the middle of the Gabba into the turf wicket area. Stocker. Important one-on-one. Hayes, Lester. Got a bit more toes. Starcevic can't get away. Does well. Hayes does really well, the big man. Spills free eventually. Filippo. McInerney gets himself in a bit of a tangle. Dunkley with a wobbler.
It has to be the same.
I think lucky because McCluggage was in close proximity, perhaps.
Go on, Oscar.
Brad Hill, 4 disposals so far. Back under Ross Lyon after Ross was coaching him at Fremantle. Out the back. Windhager. Neale. Hassles it forward. Archie straight to an opponent. In Steele. McKenna with that Gaelic style up and under ball. Owens marks well.
Stand! 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 Play on! Yours.
Having a good afternoon, Coleman. Slides it forward, Zorko. He's got a little bit of space. Joe comes at him. Good hit.
Oh,
got to pay the mark.
Got to pay that.
So he missed one from pretty much the top of the goal square, Joe. And he's pointing towards the sticks this time. Chewing the gum furiously.
Well, he's normally got this sort of distance covered pretty easily. We just don't know how they're quite coming off the boot. The set shots after the first one that he had when he missed from the top of the goal square.
Mentioned that he's on 49 goals. In the end, might have been a centering ball in the end from Danaher.
Yeah, it was.
Owens, reverse spiral out of defence, only as far as McKenna marks well. Tough one.
Just makes you wonder, though, if anyone else knew he was going to centre it. I'm not sure they're all on the same wavelength as Joe.
McKenna plays on. Raking ball. Just hooks it going for that extra distance.
I wonder if all these misses are going to come back and haunt the Lions.
Ooh.
It's 20-10, the inside 50s. They are dominating territory. No reward on the scoreboard.
Again, he goes straight down the middle, Sinclair, and he's well received by Stocker.
They're out if they can go quick.
Good forward handball. Sending it forward again, but it's a pack of lines there. Starcevic back to Coleman. Neale, clever little hand pass. Vizorko picks it up nicely. He's got the overlap in Leicester. Sends it back deep. Danaher's in good position. Gee, that's a good inside 50 ball.
It's the first time they've been able to transition from deep in defence all the way down. Move the ball quickly and catch St Kilda's defensive structure out. Couple of slick hand passes. I know that one hit the deck, but he found a gap between the players, and then another great spin hand pass from Zorko. The kick from Leicester, brilliant.
He's kicked 33-20 from the corridor with 8 complete misses.
That's not a great conversion rate.
This is his 50th, though, Kingy. Have faith.
Okay.
For the season. There's his goals from in front.
Well, he's having one of those days, Joe. When you miss one from the top of the goal square early on, it does your confidence no good. He's now 0 for 2.
Well, the only positive thing, Jason, is they're getting a lot of zone practice leading into the finals at the moment.
They are bad misses, though, Kingy. Bad misses. You're playing for a top 2 spot here.
Yeah.
I will not mention the 50 goals again for the rest of the afternoon. Andrews, the casual one.
Well, they are standing up with this intercept game. I mean, the game is living in their forward half. Yep. It's almost rope-a-dope style football from St Kilda, which is a dangerous way to play. They haven't been getting mauled at stoppages as such. This is just on ball movement. They've been locked in and penned in, the Saints.
13-8 the clearances in favour of the Lions.
It's not massive.
And Kingy, as you're saying, the ball's locked in in the forward half for the Brisbane Lions, and that's probably why the Saints from these kickouts are so aggressive. Since quarter time, they're just going long down the middle, trying to get out.
Sinclair's led that from the kick-ins. The luggage kick is stymied on the way through. Here comes Zorko. Cordy be under pressure. Clark juggles it. Webster. And they've got a bit of space out of defence. The hard-running Brad Hill charges after it, punches it forward. Bodies collapse all around him.
He's only had the 4 disposals, Brad Hill, but gee, he's running. He took a big one there, Josh Battle, right on the chin. To his feet, which is great to see.
McInerney just throws Marshall out of the way. Grabs it, sends it forward. Hipwood, stripped of the footy. Windhager got rid of it by hand. Steele dances. Little up and under ball, big fly. It was Wilmot that tried to grab the hanger, couldn't bring it to ground. Now Neal slows things down a touch. Zorko wants to keep them moving through the hands of McCluggage. Wants the option. It's a low spearer. It's ill-directed though. You see, as you said, Battle still rolling after that one on the chin. Just plucked it before the turf.
It's a couple of times he's played himself on just by not paying attention, Josh Battle, when he's going back with the footy, and then he gets forced to kick on the left foot short to a contest. Just needs to be careful, give himself more time. He's robbing himself of time to make the right decision and execute the kick out of the defensive 50 correctly.
Out of thin air, Zorko gets great purchase on it, right to the teeth of goal. Cameron's there, that's dangerous. When Charlie's in the area, you've got a problem if you're a defender, and he's on the board.
It's brilliant contrivance. I mean, he's made something out of nothing. But the bounce was perfect. It's gone over everyone. He turned around and it's dropping on his foot.
You just can't let this man in behind you, though, Jason. There's only one way to play him, and that's goal side. As soon as you let him slip a metre behind you, you're done. You just lose contain. Webster had a great position early, and then just let him slip in behind.
Webster thinks he's forcing him into the contest. It's perfect. But then a bounce in the middle, and all of a sudden it's right on his foot. Clever from Charlie Cameron, though. He can kick goals in so many different fashions. That's the problem for a defender.
He gets most of them in the goal square out the back. If you're going to play on him, you've got to be super physical and stay back shoulder. If he gets goal side, it is over.
Well, number 52 for the season for Charlie is Country Road. Echoes around the Gabba, as it does whenever he kicks a goal at home. McInerney heard a voice behind. Lions has been penalised. Lions. Berry. And a great first term. Rayner tried to put some body on Wilkie, easier said than done. And it might be off Eric's boot.
I thought it was off his knee.
Yeah, I was the same, Lynchy.
Yep.
If it's off the shin, anything below the knee is part of the boot. So the umpire must have deemed it was below the knee where it hit him. He didn't seem to complain overtly.
Oh, big fly, Owens. Promising young player to another one in Windhager, the 1-2 again with Owens. Good grab. A little sneaky ball forward to Memory. Haven't seen much of the Traralgon Flyer so far this afternoon. Comes across laterally to Wilkie. And the switch is complete into the hands of M. Wood. Pinpoint.
It needed to be a good kick, and it was.
Stocker. Back to Jimmy Webster.
They don't mind this, the Saints. Not that so much.
Yeah, but they've been forced into pinpoint kicking, and as soon as you miss one, you're in trouble.
Look at Charlie. He's pointing up towards. Not sure he was actually going towards. Wander it back over the top. Wilkie.
Yeah, he was looking for the lead of Hipwood. It was just a poor kick.
And again, he's out the back, though, Jason. That's the scare with that matchup.
But you know what? In that position there, he had the perfect opportunity to lead straight up at the ball carrier. He's asking him to kick it 60 metres on the run. He's taking away the easy option of a simple lead-up.
McCluggey's got an important hand on. Fends off Stocker. Here they come again through lines. Creates himself a bit of space. Goes towards the pocket. Bailey didn't get enough on it. And Cordy chops it off. Dogs premiership player. Battle and Wood. Have you seen Mason Wood's year, David?
Very good year. Particularly the first 6 to 8 weeks. He was probably the premier wingman in the competition inside the AFL's top 20 players at that stage. A remarkable start.
Time forward half. The Lions dominating, but 3-11 to 3-1. Inside 50s, 27 to 11 now. But only a 10-point margin.
And we've seen over the last few minutes the St Kilda doctors spending a bit of time watching the vision of the Josh Battle head knock, but they look like they've returned to their seats and given him the all clear.
Good news, Lynchy. Alistair Lynch alongside David King and Jason Dunstall. Saturday twilight football from Brizzy. McKenna, McCluggage, and Stocker.
120 marks a game they've been taking on average the last 6 weeks. The Saints, they love this fashion. I know, Jason, they've missed a couple in the last 2 build-ups to a forward 50 opportunity, but this is how they play.
Hill forward hand pass. Windhager gets around Wilmot. Here's the important kick. It's good. Straight away, he took it. He said, I'm having a shot.
I'm not sure he's got the journey from there.
Yep, first touch for Jack Higgins. It's the first time we've sighted him out there.
Kicked a couple last week in his 100th. Goals and all with 2 games this year. In the end, it's the centering ball. You're all over it, Lynchy. Massive pack of players. McKenna kicks it straight into the back of Butler, and Harris Andrews there to mop things up.
Well, let's see if St Kilda can lock the ball in their forward half for a little while and give their back 6 an opportunity to recover. At the moment, they've only won the ball back on 1 occasion. Brisbane have done it 16 times.
Opportunity here, Kingy. They keep it inside. Snapping ball. Oh, gee, that would have been a good counter-attacking performance by Gresham.
In the end, it's a bad miss. I mean, he should kick that 99 times out of 100, Jade Gresham. It was a risky kick from McKenna. Andrews found himself 1 against 3. They've got to punish Brisbane on those instances.
Oh.
He's done it again.
Straight to Wanganeen-Milera.
Might find he doesn't take the next kick out.
Yeah.
Sinclair's hovering top of 50.
Or the next 10.
He's one of their designated kickers. He's just had a couple of horrors.
Cordy plays on, elects to send it deep. Memory hits the pack hard. Butler, Berry, Windhager controls it, keeps it in. No, he doesn't. Hand pass shot out the back to Filippo. Goes back to Clark. Hopeful ball from outside range. Payne bounces off what is a big chest and goes across the line.
Just did enough, didn't he, Mason Wood, coming with the flight of the ball to put Payne off.
Crouch does a lot of blocking at forward 50 stoppages and then gets free post block. He's a danger around here. He'll put a block on, then he'll be on the move.
Keep an eye out for him. Danaher grabs out of the ruck, slung in the tackle. Wood. Delicate kicks ineffective to McCluggage. Now they'll go Brisbane. The runners, you see them streaming out to the top of the screen. Look at Harris Andrews goes. He continues to run down that way. Archie's seen it. Rewards the running. But memory arrives. And Lynch nearly got a touch.
It wasn't a great kick from Archie. They should have made more of that, Brisbane. He had other options. Just a little bit one-minded about getting it to Harris Andrews.
Trying to clear it by foot out of the ruck contest. Bailey steps into a bit of trouble. Robertson. Got his jumper on this afternoon, Dev Robertson, after he blew up social media last week when he paraded around like Hulk Hogan and Tarzan all rolled into one, Kingy.
Not surprising. He looked $1 million.
He did everything he could to avoid the jumper getting put back on.
He was in pristine condition. Owens, good tackle, Lyons.
It's working hard, Lyons, isn't he? Playing effectively as a half forward at the moment. This will be his 10th disposal.
Danaher from 60 out, doesn't time the ball going forward. And the hard-running wingman has dropped back into defence to assist his teammates.
See the frustration there from Cameron with Berry. Someone had to contest that ball in the air and bring it to ground. It's the pet hate for coaches. Intercept marks in the defensive 50.
And kick it straight to Leicester.
That's another pet hate for coaches.
3 goals, 11 Brisbane. Really should be up by 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah. He get the journey if he wants it. Cam Rayner.
5 of those behinds have been from outside 40 metres. So at least they are giving them longer shots at goal. I know that was a cold turnover. Nothing you can do about that structurally.
Kick one behind already this evening has Rayner. From right on 50. Nice kick, but drifts right. And Marshall's there to take charge.
Stand, Eric, stand.
Defensively, from a Brisbane point of view, this is brilliant. There is nowhere to go with this ball. The easy options are drying up. So they've hit the first 2 or 3 passes, then they just lock on.
Yours.
Got the overlap. If Wilkie elects to use it, and he does. To Butler. Good run from Jimmy Webster.
And these are those uncontested marks you've been talking about, Kingy, and they allow them in the back half. It's when they try to transition into the forward half of the ground that they've been coming unstuck.
This time to a contest. Brought to ground. McKenna. Wilmot tries to break the tackle. Andrews in a tight space.
Wasn't thrilled about that hand pass coming back to him, Harris Andrews.
He was getting a little bit Wilmot
while he was getting tackled.
He was getting tackled, Jason.
that's quite humorous.
As he was about to be decked,
it was almost like, what the hell are you giving it back to me for?
McInerney down to ground level. Bailey. Now Fletcher. Kick the first for the Lions.
Might have just popped a finger.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's a mark. He has to take that. So Eric Hipwood feeling that he had the jumper stretched. He was a bit upset a couple of times with the umpire. That's the bounce over the top that was beautifully crafted by Charlie Cameron, though. The goal out of nothing.
It's only goal for the quarter, that one by Cameron.
It's not a game full of highlights, but I think this is great practice coming into the finals. That things aren't necessarily going the way you want them to if you're either coach. At the moment, the Saints really struggling to get their hands on the ball. At clearance, being smacked now 21-10, and really can't move the ball. They can't function at the moment.
It's an interesting chess game at the moment.
It is, yeah.
Marshall.
You don't want to be playing chess in September, though. You want to be playing something a bit more effective, Jas. Oh.
Good to see Hayes take a strong mark. Back to Hill. He started the chain. Drives it inside 50 with hard running. Gresham runs back with a fly. An opportunity for the Saints.
Just depends if you're Bobby Fischer or not.
Yes, I guess. Yeah, true.
Gary Kasparov
and Gary Karpov, a couple of others.
Getting their chance here, aren't they?
King is interested in our
No.
discussion at all.
Moved on from that.
He's a narrow-minded football man. Crouch.
This is the kick that just they've got to clean up. They've got to make scoring a little bit easier.
Harris Andrews marks uncontested. Where'd you go to school, Kingy?
Assumption College. There wasn't too much chess up there, I can tell you.
Am I part of the chess club there?
No.
A lot of sport.
I think Ducks, our year 12, kicked 100 goals, Chase.
Robertson to Payne. Now Harris, always casual, like it's a training drill for him. Back to his big mate, the 104-kiloer in Payne.
Oh.
They make a bit of a mess of it. Windhager, Higgins, can they mop it up? Hayes again by hand. Dangerous areas here for the Lions. The Saints continue to come. McKenna just screws it out of defence any which way he can.
See, they got lucky there.
Yeah.
That had the makings of a horrible error resulting in a goal, didn't it?
It's one thing you don't really want to see as a coach is your full-back kick chipping it wide to your back, your centre-half back and vice versa.
Wilmot, long ball down the outer wing. Marshall's having another good game of footy. Up and under. Dev Robertson. It's a short ball, might be turned over. Hill swoops on it, but he's caught. Really good tackle. It'll come the other way now. McKenna, he sees something deep. Joe's got body on his man. Rolls in, he can't miss from there. And now he's got 50 for the season.
Well, he took the set shot hoodoo out of play, King. That's one way to do it, isn't it?
Again, just getting out the back, just strong body work. As the ball's coming, it's a horror turnover from both parties. Really a great tackle there from Coleman to get back on it. Just a really penetrating kick and to put the defender in a bind. Great body work from Joe. Smashes it through.
Need your wits about you. If you're up in the stand, that's a death ball. That is coming at you, and if you're not paying attention, could take your head clean off. Love Kitty Coleman's ability after he went for the ball that was no good. He was down on the ground. He bounced up and he tackled Brad Hill really quickly to create the turnover and allow McKenna to get that good inside 50.
Can ruin a good afternoon, that one. It can destroy an $80 purchase of 2 beers and a couple of pies, Chase.
Only 2 goals of the term. The way the Lions, Cameron and Danaher. Neil starting to get busy in the clinches. Sends it out wide. Wanganeen-Milera just eases after the football. Sinclair's had 13, Crouch 12, Berry 14, McKenna 13. Inside 50s though, Brisbane 31, St Kilda 15. 14-point margin. It was 1 point to the Lions at the first break. Marshall dumped by Oscar McInerney. Berry, left footer. Rayner, Coleman, hurried snap. Misses the lot.
Derek on the 9.
In fact, it was Archie. Apologies.
Just look at how organised Brisbane are as a defensive unit, defensive grid. No easy options here for the Saints.
There's Coleman.
It's just brilliant to watch. Really is. And you just get those repeat opportunities and eventually you'll break the opposition. 34th inside 50 for a half of football. Just terrific. Chris Fagan be thrilled with the system and the approach from his team as a collective, the way they've defended. Just got to finish off your work now.
Kalachi. 5 goals for the season before today. Playing his 9th game. Set shot history. That's all games, all grounds for Archie. To make it 3 for the turn for Brisbane. Never looked like it. Stuck it out right. Might work for Rayner. Stocker arrived just in time to get hands on the footy.
So St Kilda have had 35 opportunities to bring the ball out of their defensive 50 and haven't scored. They can't function in allowing them to move the ball at all.
Danaher heard something out the back.
Rowan. Let's go.
Gresham, footy taken away from him. Coleman at ground level. Berry. Cameron, hand passes to himself. Even Charlie Cameron can't dart through that little gap.
Well, this is where they're really seriously good, Howie. Only Port Adelaide better, as we said, at forward 50 stoppages. There'll be blocks, there'll be players on the move. This is a dangerous 16 seconds. It's a dangerous forward 50 stoppage here.
Saints have given up 3 goals for the term. Dunkley. McCluggage. Time continues to tick. Last chance for McKenna. Mark needed for the Lions. Danaher's there. Big fist comes from the side. Brisbane dominating everywhere on the ground, all the stats. But they have kicked 4 goals, 11. They would hope for a larger lead with the amount of football they've had. Half-time at the Gabba. Brisbane lead it 4-11-35 to St Kilda 3-3-21. Berry's had 15. McKenna 14. Neal 13. Sinclair 14 for the Saints alongside Gresham with 12 and Crouch with 12. Inside 50s tell the story though. Brisbane lead at 34-15. It was Brisbane by a point at quarter time. They've extended it out to a 14-point margin at half-time. Haven't lost a game at home all year, playing for a top 2 spot. The Brisbane Lions. St Kilda hoping for a win to secure a home final. So much riding on this outcome on Saturday twilight football. Beautiful afternoon, evening at the Gabba. Game started in 22 degrees sunshine. Alistair Lynch is getting ready out in the middle. Come in, Lynchy.
Thanks, Howie. Dane, how did you see the first half? You dominated so many aspects of the game, but didn't get the impact on the scoreboard.
Yeah, territory's really in our favour at the moment. We've got to start capitalising, no doubt about that. But we know they play a real keepings-off sort of brand of football, and if we can get those turnovers, we want to punish them. And at the moment, we're just not quite doing that.
Well, what do? Do you adjust things, or is it just composure in front of goals? Because you look like you're getting most other things right.
Yeah, we just got to let the game catch up a little bit. I think we're trying to go a little bit too quick. I mean, their numbers are obviously back considerably. So, yeah, we need to be a little bit more patient going inside 50. If we can do that, we'll get some better looks.
And most importantly, I saw you getting a bit of treatment from the physio. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Old man treatment, mate. You know how it is.
Good work. Look after yourself. Thanks, mate.
I seen you getting treated before the game as well. That's unbelievable.
And Zorko just giving a little 1-2 to Alistair Lynch. He's pretty happy. His Brisbane side lead it by 14 points at half-time. Up next, Jason Dunstall, David King to take you through everything that happened. Brisbane lead it by 14 points at half-time. Alistair Lynch is with the coach of the Saints.
Thanks, Howie. Rossi, 14 points down, but the ball has been in your defensive half for most of the time. What can you do to adjust that?
Well, it doesn't feel like 14 points, does it? First half, they pinned us in and they couldn't move the ball, so all credit to them. Then the second quarter, they dominated midfield clearance, 110, so which can be problematic during the year. So we've made a few little changes, but our kick-ins as well, we were bowled up the middle, so we just got to be aggressive and bold with our run. But we've got to win it at the source, and we're going to lock it in a bit on them. They've moved it too easily.
All right, thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks to Alistair and Ross. It's the time of the year, David King, where you need to be an astrophysicist. You need to be on the calculator. You're looking into percentages now.
Well, they started the day with 108.9, the Saints. It's dropped to 107.8 at half-time. And Ross is right. It feels like a 40-point half-time lead to the Brisbane Lions. If it were to get to that, it would create opportunities depending on what happens with GWS beating Carlton. But if they slip to 7th or 8th, they might be travelling for a first final. So that's a worry. If you're the St Kilda faithful, you need to see a better representation in the second half.
Well, the biggest concern right now is 15 inside 50s in the first half of football. You cannot survive. The forward line's been starved of opportunity.
They need that man to get busy at clearances. Yet to have a clearance, Jack Steele, just a 7 disposals, and they're getting hammered in the middle. They trail the clearances 25-10 all up, and as Ross said, in the midfield, it's a mauling.
Marshall pacing around, as is Oscar McInerney. Looks like Burns might be out on the ground as well. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Crouch. There he is, Burns. So must have made a substitution somewhere. Hasn't come up yet. Lynch will be all over it as Membry marks centre wing.
Oh.
Goes in on the 45. It's cut off by Fletcher. Tries to get it away by hand. Owens might have been tackled by his own teammate. That's a bit stiff. Bailey, it's a hard enough game, Kingy, without your teammates starting to get in here.
You're tackled by 2 of them.
Well, it's one way to get your tackle numbers up, though. Gee, it was an important ball for Brisbane to win. An aggressive 45-degree kick inboard. You just get the feeling that Ross has said, hey, let's open the shoulders a bit here. We're dying a slow death going long down the line. Let's be more aggressive.
Starcevic to Wilmot. McCluggage. Back to Wilmot. Tries to get around Phillippo. Didn't have the toe for it, so spits it out wide. To Berry. Long ball forward. Wiki was slightly out of position, went with the one arm. Danaher. Crouch stands underneath it. Marks well.
Lazy kick.
Here is Burns. Alistair Lynch, what's happened as far as the sub goes?
We recall that in the first half, Josh Battle got that head knock and he was cleared initially. And then on reassessment from this contact here, he was reassessed at half-time and he's been subbed out of the game with concussion. Burns into the game.
Oh, it's a nasty knock, isn't it?
And a nasty follow-up coming, I think. When you look at that young man's played 50 minutes of football after that hit.
Neil sends it deep. Gets out the back of the pack.
Now, he's completed the half of the game. He's played nearly 60 minutes of football, and that happened mid-first quarter.
We'll get the benefit of the week off between the home and away and the finals. Hopefully he's all good to go. Marshall gets front position. Lohman is the unused sub for the Brisbane Lions. Agricultural from Joe. Windager saw the run and went for it. And he realised he had Charlie Cameron on his hammer, so he got rid of it immediately.
That's correct. That was mid-second quarter, so that's it doesn't make it any easier in terms of the review. So he's probably played 20 to 25 minutes of football. I'm sure the AFL will be following that up.
Burns doesn't really have any options to go, so just has to punch it straight down the line. Membry with a fist in from the side.
These are the clearances they've got to start winning, Jason. Ross Lyons said at half-time 10-1 in the second quarter between the arcs. They trailed by 13 all clearances for the day.
McInerney got tangled up with Marshall. Coleman opens it up for Brad Hill. Charlie Cameron, a couple of speedsters. This will be a good contest, but Hill knew what he was up against and grabbed the number 23. A wry grin as he realised what he'd done.
You can take that as an honourable loss, I would have thought. Yep. He thought he was in all sorts of strife.
Professional free. Starcevic. One lead from Hipwood. Gets a free kick in game 150, does Eric? And 3 disposals to date.
Well, that could be 50. Yeah. Just no need to touch him. Cam Rayner is given an opportunity here for the Saints.
Doesn't take the full distance because he sees something in the shape of Wood. Battles away with Coleman. Centering tap to Hayes. Higgins. Little bouncer. Goal paid.
It's their first inside 50 for the quarter. They turned it into a goal.
Crouch in the end it was that got the kick away. My apologies, not Higgins, but nevertheless it's a goal.
Just working hard, Jason. Frustrating the Brisbane Lions. You can see the frustration there, given away with a 50-metre penalty against Rain. It's just silly, really. I mean, there's no easy kicks out there at the moment. The Saints are frustrating them, but this here, great tap back from Mason Wood.
Yeah, brilliant.
To give another opportunity, and who knows what's going to happen. It's that random ball that is oh so dangerous.
Seen a lot of frustration on the face of Harris Andrews at different stages in this game thus far. So things not obviously proceeding as they would like from a defensive perspective at times. And that's probably the fact that they're scoring at nearly 50% conversion every time they go inside. Well, 1 out of every 2 inside 50s turning into a score.
So Crouch with the opening goal of the second half to bring the Saints right back into it. Filippo steps one way or the other. Another opportunity for St Kilda. Spills down towards Butler. Wood will get it.
Won all 4 clearances of the third term, I should say. And he can kick this. He's got a long leg on him, Mason Wood. Amazingly how this game has swung. Kick this, right back in it.
14 goals for the season for Mason Wood. From long range. Right on 50 on the left. Makes pretty good contact. Floats it home. There's a hand or a touch on it somewhere. Not to be for the Saints. Coleman,
wow.
He's turned it straight over, kicked it straight at Butler. Remarkable.
Just a brain fade. And you can see the scratching of the head from the coach. He knows this isn't the way they wanted to start the third term. They dominated the first half territory-wise, didn't convert it to a big lead on the scoreboard. And sometimes you set yourself up for trouble.
We said Connor McKenna wouldn't want to take the next couple of kick-outs. They are having a lot of them. Oh, no, they've only had the 4, haven't they? It's the other end the kick-outs have been.
Butler, his first goal of the evening. Now it's the Saints missing opportunities.
Might be a little bit more circumspect with this. A long and wide kick.
Yeah.
Cut off immediately, though. The ball out from McKenna by Marshall.
It was clever. Oscar McInerney was otherwise engaged by another St Kilda player, which allowed Marshall free to run and jump at the footy.
Very similar start to the first quarter. Dominating possession early, Saints.
Brad Hill sends it to a dangerous area. McKenna hooks it round the body. Wobbler out of defence. It'll come back with interest from Sinclair. He's got a couple of options. Gets through the hands of Butler. Wood goes to ground. Looked at the umpire. Wasn't interested. Burns can't keep the handball from Membry in. Josh Battle just arrived from the rooms. Out with a concussion protocol.
Let's hope he bounces back quickly.
McInerney throws it down onto the boot. Sinclair turns his back. Shows a clean pair of heels.
Good pressure coming from the Lions.
Forcing them back, the Saints. Saints free kick. Owen's the recipient. He's got the sideways kick, but he wants to go inside 50. Brisbane have got the numbers. Harris Andrews as he so often does.
He was just standing there. I mean, Owens had to find a way to go around Harris Andrews. He just stood in that exact spot for 10 seconds and he effectively just gifted him back the ball.
Payne to Fletcher. Zorko.
You can see the eyes. He's desperate to switch it.
Slips catch from Andrews. Running into trouble. Zorko balls errant. Goes to Sinclair. Sharman's got his back to the footy up forward, so Sinclair has to go back by hand. Clark. Now Windager. Wood gives it to Burns, the activated sub. Centering ball to a dangerous area, right onto the chest of the big man out of Tarraugan, Team Embry.
It's a fantastic kick from Burns. He summed it up beautifully. Just found a little pocket of space in the corridor for Embry to lead into, who struggled to get into the contest. He's only had the 3 possessions, hasn't hit the scoreboard yet, but should kick a goal here. And an opportunity to punish Brisbane, who have looked a little bit laconic in defence. Just a little bit too casual, make mistakes. Zorko, the latest to have a bad turnover.
Pretty good from this area, Tim Embry. For 2 for the turn for St Kilda. Just squeezes it home, and here come the Saints.
Well, they've dominated a clearance in the third term and dominated for inside 50s. The pressure's been good from both teams, really. And just an easy couple of cough-ups from Brisbane exiting their defensive half. And they're making the pay. It's a clever handball, Jace, just to slip him through a little gap there. Membry charging into that vacant land at the top of the goal face.
It was the kick that forced Membry to actually lead towards it.
The 14-point half-time margin has evaporated completely on the back of Membry's first for the evening. Nice high bounce. Crouch all over his man. Spills to Clark. Here they come again. If the bounce aids Phillippo, it does. Robinson with the tackle, but Phillippo with a little right foot slider. Harris Andrews, he's starting to really get his hands on intercepts, Jason.
Yeah, but you could just see him then too. He looked up, didn't see an option. There's frustration, visible frustration from Harris Andrews nearly every time he's involved in the play. So something's not as it should be for the Brisbane Lions. And the skipper's not enjoying what he's seeing ahead of him.
Archie to Rayner. Hooking ball down the line. Danaher's shoved out of the contest. McInerney punches it 15 metres forward. And he's going to be penalised. Insufficient intent. Stocker shorts it to Windager. Does the same to Hill.
Stand! Stay with him, Joe.
Happy to play this short chipping ball out of defence, the Saints. Hill trying to create something. Sends it very wide in the end to Webster.
Stand!
Now Ryan Burns. To go short.
It's a good shot down the ground. You can see all the Brisbane numbers, a couple of them back loose in defence, which is why they're having to pick their way through by foot, look lateral, look short.
They're happy to do this, as we said earlier, 120 marks a game on average the last 6 weeks. They'll just probe and try and find an easy option.
Stocker drives it long to a 2-on-1. Wood doesn't let his man down. Nice little fly. They go short again to Windhager. Now they've got some forward momentum. Clark sends it deep. Out the back is Butler. Out the back is Butler. Through the goals is Butler, and the Saints are in front.
3 goals to nothing in the third term. It's all St Kilda's way, and isn't it amazing if you turn the territory battle around, the pressure all of a sudden it puts on the opposition defence, Kingy.
And they're off a bit here, Brisbane. Lynchy's spot on. They've started this third term very calm, very meek, very mild. Need some anger back in the game here, the Lions. Just simple stuff from the Saints, really. Nothing outrageous. Honest footy.
A bit of early body work there from Butler on Fletcher. Just got him off balance, created the space, and as soon as it went over the back, he was Johnny on the spot to kick the goal. And they have got all the momentum, the Saints, now. So it's back to Brisbane. Let's see what they can raise in terms of an effort now. Danaher into the ruck.
Didn't kick a goal in the second quarter, the Saints. They gave up 2. They've kicked 3 unanswered in the third to snatch the lead.
Just every clearance now going St Kilda's way.
Hayes gets the free. Sends it forward. Payne is there. There's a couple of bodies fall to the ground beside the big man. Splits out to Lester. Now Deb Robertson. Coleman wants it short. That's ignored. Fletcher isn't. Lions front and centre. Coleman, Rayner, Cameron's out the back. Here's trouble. Charlie's out the back. It's a beautiful ball. Charlie rolls in. Home crowd on their feet. Cameron's got 2.
He fascinates me, this guy, Jason. And if you get it wrong against Charlie, you pay a price. So you can see there, Webster's got him. You have to make contact. You have to bump. You have to armbar. He loses his footing in the end, but he was done anyway. You cannot let Charlie get to full speed and get him behind. There's just too much space. He's one of the great forwards in our competition. If you play his brand, you bleed.
Must be one of the most uncomfortable positions in the game. Jimmy Webster, you can see the opposition running unfettered, no pressure. Charlie's got an entire 50-metre arc to run into. He's thinking, what am I going to do here? And then he slips over, which just compounds the problems, doesn't he? They're having a little bit of a chat about it there.
Well, you're better off going up with him and standing right behind him, and when he turns, he just sees your chest.
53 goals for the season now for Charlie.
He turns so quick, and that's what turns his opponent inside out. Quite seriously, in that situation, I'd drag him down 45 metres out, give him a shot from 45, because he's going to open you up behind.
Dana having a crack at the ruck. Nice ball forward. Burns, clever in the end to Sinclair. Hoofs it out of defence. Payne tracks it nicely. Can't keep the ball in.
It's a good test now. Great defensive game from both teams. St Kilda obviously responded with their offence in the third quarter, but
Stocker hangs it up, but it works to Cordy. Sharman does well after he lost the marking contest. Owens uses a bit of body. Wood was away, but the ball didn't agree. Brisbane by a point at quarter time, 14 at the major break. 3 goals to 1. Has brought the Saints right back into it. Neil runs into Kitty Coleman, who then dumps it out on the full.
Just missing a beat at the moment, aren't they? The Brisbane Lions. He knows it, Chris Fagan. Frustration.
And Kitty's missed 3 kicks all season.
Yeah.
3 of them in this quarter.
He's doubled his tally, hasn't he, Lynchy?
Windager. He's working a live ladder like every St Kilda supporter out there. Smoke coming out of your phone, man. What's it telling you? Or you're not sure?
Well, nothing at the moment. It's a draw, so not a lot's really changing, but the ramifications for Brisbane are huge, as to St Kilda, I guess. But to lose second spot now would be disastrous for the Lions. So it's a big 40 minutes of footy in front of us.
Hayes, Danaher. Coleman, wrapped and taken care of by B. Hill.
Lockie Neal only had the one disposal so far in this quarter. Started with 7, then 6, but they've really locked him down in this term.
Loam in the unused sub. For Brisbane. And Battle out with concussion protocols. Saw Burns injected at half-time. Dunkley. Neal. Coleman. Sat upon.
Gee, I don't know what Brad Crouch can do there as a player comes burrowing in and runs into your body.
Good ball to Wilmot. The runners are there. Goes by foot. Still they go. Fletcher. Bailey. Driving ball forward. Danger. Standing in front was Cordy. Coming with a rush, though, was Rayner. Gives a bit of luck to the fans. And Brisbane respond.
There must be so much emphasis placed on repeat speed, Kingy, because every time the ball comes inside 50, it's a foot race. Who can beat their opponent back to goal? And this time, it's Rayner. Wanganeen-Milera just gets caught ball watching, and it's Rayner that gets goal side this time. We've spoken about Cameron always looking to get goal side, but it's just a sprint race. He beats him by a yard, and that's enough. That's the goal. High fives for everyone from Cam Rayner.
Such a dangerous forward line the Brisbane Lions possess. You're not sure how to play these guys on occasion. Rayner can beat you in many different ways, but allowing them goal side again, it's just too easy in the end.
Neal. Another forward ball. Archie runs on it nicely. Rayner wants it deep. There's many in the centre. Archie elects to go the deep option. Big pack of players in the air. They come from the side. McInerney grabs it above everyone. Tries to get his foot on it. He does! Oscar McInerney brings a bit of showtime to the Gabba.
Saints are saying touched off the boot. We'll get a review.
Touched off the boot? Yeah, okay. Score review. Umpire score is touched, one behind. Please check to see if it's touched off the boot.
Review underway.
Oh, I'm not sure it was. In fact, I don't think it was touched. I don't think you can see any finger move there. There's a gap, isn't there, Kingy?
Clear out, boys. Let's set up. Clear out. Clear out.
Let's check that first set of hands near the boot there, Jason. Is it Cordy?
No, he doesn't get it. I think this is a goal. I think there's enough there to say that is a clear goal. There's a gap between the fingers, all three sets of fingers, and the ball.
It does take a long time to get to Oscar's boot. It's given everyone a chance.
That's why three of them have tried to smother. There's no finger.
Can you overturn?
I think you can.
Okay.
We always see a finger bend when it's touched.
So conclusive.
For me, yes. But then again,
Review
hundreds of
complete.
times.
Looking at these angles, we can see there is a gap between the ball and the St Kilda defenders at all times. Decision on scoreboard.
I'm breathing a sigh of relief because I went all in. It's a great effort. Oscar McInerney's having a fascinating battle with Rowan White, but he's just got it up high where no one can reach it. But then the ability to throw it on the boot quickly for a big fella was brilliant.
It reminds you of playing football against your big brothers. You just can't get near him. Ball's up high. He's just a constant threat, Oscar, isn't he? I think he's have a massive impact on this final series upcoming.
And you just see the little fin there. I mentioned he had a young bloke called Finn during the week, so I think that's what
the shark fin on, did he?
fin was about, which would have been disappointing if it was overturned by review. Now 3 in a row by the Lions to answer the 3 from the Saints. They stretch it back out to a 2-goal margin, and the Saints got something else to come with. Marshall, McCluggage, they sit on top of it. Marshall somehow gets boot to it. Hill's got some work to do. Overruns it. Robertson doesn't. Has his head ripped off. We'll get a free. Doesn't get enough on the kick. Hill gets a hand on it and another and does enough.
Looking at the numbers, Rossi.
There's not as much red as there was in the first half, that's for sure.
Let's go, Rowan.
Steele just want to get rid of the footy. Berry falls to ground. Crouch ducks the head. Neal gets the clearance. Eric's in front. Nearly held the mark. Cordy did well to affect the spoil.
Well, they've won the last 6 clearances, the Lions. That's what Ross will be looking at. What's happening at ground level.
Phillippo, Gresham, Wanganeen-Milera. He's got the confidence to take on McKenna. Takes a second bounce, runs wide of him. Puts it out in front of Owens, lopes after it. Coleman's on his hammer. Leicester's there to provide assistance. And the ball got away from Cameron off the boot of Archie.
It was good leg speed from Coleman to close down Owens very quickly.
Go, Rowan.
Crouch tackled as he tried to get the hand pass away. Gresham has a bit more success. Burns spins into trouble, out of trouble. Back to Gresham, delayed it. Sinclair's going to be right under the hammer when he picks it up. Rayner grabs his man. Brisbane's starting to bring a bit more heat.
Yeah, knew he was under the pump. Jack Sinclair did well, just had to hang on to it and force the stoppage.
Let's go, Rowan. Let's go, Rowan.
Look at the pressure numbers. The first 15 minutes of this quarter, Brisbane went at 150. We know the AFL average is 180. The last 10 minutes, they've gone at 230.
Marshall Burns. Sinclair, the running man, tracked down from behind. Might have got a sharp advantage paid for the Saints. They send him forward again. He's out the back. Hayes thought about the handball, but elected to go back and line up the man that hadn't played since round 6, 2022.
Yep, after the injuries he's been through, I suspect teammates will come from everywhere after he kicks this goal.
Kicked 6 in the VFL last week. Big Jackie Hayes for a 4th for the term for the Saints. Well done to the big man. The Saints won't go away. And players come from everywhere, as you suggested, to get around the big fella.
It's been a long fight back. An ACL, a broken bone in the foot then pre-season as he's trying to get back into things. This is the free kick at the stoppage because McCluggage threw it to a teammate instead of the umpire. Great penetration on the kick from Philippou, though. That's silver service right there.
Some great stories in footy. And that's just so good to see. And it's an energy giver to the team now. This is exactly the moment they needed to get themselves going again. The Saints, who'd lost the handle the last 10 minutes, game on again.
To number 9, Steele and Neela there. Philippou brought down as he got the clearance away, but it was effective. Membry does well in the contest to bring it to ground. Hill, can he manufacture something, the ball inside? Jack Payne says no, he can't. That's what Wilmot can see ahead of him. Fletcher continues to run for Neil. Or concealed kick to Joe Danaher. Burns has been good since he's come on. Hand pass was a little bit awry. Wood, Owens runs into Leicester, runs through Leicester, goes back by hand to Danaher on the turnover. Now there's a chance for Bailey coming the other way. It's a low bullet, just gets away from Zorko.
Joe Danaher. Joe.
Around the corner ball, off the boot of Jack Higgins. Owens got in the back of Coleman. He sends it out wide. Bailey trips. Sinclair's had 19, as has Crouch, Gresham 18, and Windhager, Neil 17.
And Burns has had 12 for the quarter. He's been the spark that the Saints have needed, been involved in 4 scores. 4 of their 6 scores.
Came on at the start of the 3rd term. Rayner lost it. He tweaked an ankle as he went.
It's a bad fumble. He's away. Hitting the ball inside 50. Good work from Berry inside, but just a bad fumble. An untimely fumble from Rayner.
Good tackle, Owens. Scrappy period at the moment. As both sides fight for ascendancy. Higgins, and again the boundary line.
Talk a lot about that sub role coming on and having an impact. What it'll do through a final series. It's a massive asset. You know, I think a lot of clubs are still not unsure about which way to go. Burns is looking like a terrific option for the Saints going forward.
We haven't seen Lohman yet, the Brisbane sub. Clark eventually gets it clear. Gresham goes off the ground. Higgins hand passes into Philippou's knee. Comes a second time. Back to Clark. Bodies being thrown everywhere. There is the Brisbane sub. Kyle Lohman. Wilmot.
Rowan, Oscar.
Neal gets a little bit of space. Danger for the Saints. Hipwood in front, has had no room at all today. Cordy. Now Sinclair. Windhager streaks off half back and just dumps it out on the full. Dying moments. Saints trying to hold on.
Oh, it's a look away.
McInerney with a no-looker. Sinclair saw it, though.
I'm sure the coach saw it, too. He won't be thrilled.
Hayes completes play. Brisbane by 14 at half-time, but the Saints had a good turn. They kicked 4 goals to 3. They are in it up to their next. Brisbane have not lost a game at home all season. They lead the Saints at three-quarter time by a goal. Great stories tonight at the footy. Oscar McInerney had a son this week by the name of Finn. Burst his way through the pack and celebrated with a young fella. Put the Finn up, and Hayes, who's been out of the game since round 6 2022, kicked a goal. His teammates came from everywhere. St Kilda took the lead with the first 3 of the third term. Brisbane answered. It is a 1-goal game on Super Saturday. So much to play for. Brisbane lead at 7-11-53. They're looking for top 2. St Kilda 7-5-47. They're looking for a home final. Alistair Lynch ought to be played for.
Oh, absolutely there is, and there's a lot of hype down here. The Brisbane Lions supporters are a bit disappointed with that third term, but the Saints supporters watching at home would be over the moon, because the Saints come out after being belted in the first half. Realistically, they were still in the game on the scoreboard, but it was actions like this. Mason Woods had a good impact on this game. 13 disposals and 5 score involvements, and that was one of them led to the Crouch goal. But if we just look at the third quarter in particular, and again, there was a lot of red flags early. Clearances, they were getting belted in that first half. They were able to be +1 to turn things around dramatically. Inside 50s, again, a big discrepancy in the first half, +2. But what they were able to do in free play is own the ball on the outside. And there's a big discrepancy there with uncontested possessions, and a lot of that was handball. Saints got on the outside, used the ball with handball to find some space, then hit targets inside 50, which saw them win that quarter, 4-2 to 3 straight goals to the Brisbane Lions, and bring that margin back to 6 points. A massive game for both teams. Big last quarter coming up.
Yeah, they just denied Brisbane the football in that third term. They had 40 more possessions, controlled the footy, and by dominating centre bounce clearances in particular, they were able to win the territory battle, and that just takes a little bit of pressure off the defensive side of your game.
Got 3 goals bouncing off half back, and that's been a problem for them all day. Ball movement against Brisbane. This is going to be a fascinating fourth quarter.
Marshall and McInerney to get things underway. Grabs it straight out of the ruck. Toe pokes it forward. Does Rowe Marshall. Berry comes back the other way. Gresham gets him higher. Plays on now. Berry looks to the outer side. Hipwood has had no room with Wilkie all afternoon, but he's got a free kick here as Eric Hipwood.
Yeah, it has been a tough 150th for Eric Hipwood. Just the 4 possessions. Looking to have an impact, particularly on the scoreboard in this last term. See the talls up forward, McInerney and Danaher.
Drops it short into the pocket. Wilkie caught one for his trouble from Danaher. Dunkley gets it away by hand. Hurried snap from Zorko. Didn't quite have the carry.
Unlucky not to get a free kick there, Wilkie. I mean, he's in the perfect position. Takes all the heat. Takes a whack to the top of the head.
Aggressive exit from Wanganeen-Milera. Gets over the top of Sinclair. Andrews uses the body. Sinclair comes again. Cooper Sharman can't get rid of it.
Oscar, Rowan. Behind you, Jay.
Gresham finds Hill, finds a little space. Does Brad Hill? Membry hangs underneath it for a while.
I feel like Membry's going to have to win some one-on-ones against Payne if they're to win this game. Been a good battle all day.
Only 4 disposals for Tim Membry. He has kicked a goal. Floated forward by Zorko to space. Unusual bounce. Wanganeen-Milera picks a little hole. He's got speed. Ran out of room. Sends it forward. One-on-one. Andrew Sharman. It's 50-50. Leicester hangs over the top of it. Higgins comes in from the side.
Challenging corridor more and more, the Saints, aren't they? Playing braver.
Owen's in the role of a ruckman. Centering ball. Andrews again with a fist. Archie, only as far as Membry has said he needed to get involved. And that is exactly what he does with his second.
Well, you know, Max King's going to come back into the lineup in a couple of weeks' time, so there's a number of tools fighting for positions in that St Kilda forward line. It's a horrible blind hand pass from Archie back into the corridor. It gets punished. But as you say, if Membry can kick a couple of goals in the last turn, gets his confidence up, starting to get back in the flow of the game after missing a lot of football as well.
Payne thought his job was done. Ball coming in with the aerial work. It's one of the most dangerous balls in the competition. A bobbling ball, a ground ball inside your forward 50. Defender's got to be on high alert. Membry wanted it, hunted after it. Payne had dropped off. He'd retreated to the goal square. Game on.
Lyons has been subbed out. Lohman gets his opportunity. Lockie Neal with a clearance. There is Kai Lohman. First sighting. Hill mops up. Back to Hill. Tried to go around the corner. Doesn't work out. Goes to Wilmot. Now Zorko. The line's building through the centre of the Gabba. Towards the pocket. And dropping into a nice little spot is Archie.
This is something we've seen him do in recent weeks. He can drift forward, takes a good mark for his size. He plays tall.
He's been a handy inclusion in the second half of the season. We know he's had a couple of concussion issues, but on that wing, just working really hard, deep back and pushing forward, as you said, Chief.
It's going to take a decent kick from here, though.
I think he's got it in him. He's a big kick of the ball, and certainly early down on the Gold Coast, spent plenty of time forward.
For a 6th goal of the season from right on 50. Hooks it going for the distance.
Oh.
Danaher just floats across, imperious in front of the pack.
Umpires deemed he's marked it just out of the square, otherwise he would have been directly in front. But after we saw his first shot for goal, I just can't write it in yet, Kingy. Missed one from the top of the square early on in the game.
Couldn't miss this.
For a bit of breathing space for the Brisbane Lions. Joe provides just that.
Hipwood and Danaher been pretty consistent tall forwards for them this year. I mean, this is some contested mark at the top of the goal square. It's a slow entry, a set shot at goal that doesn't quite get there. You've got all your troops on defence on high alert. Your tools are down there to deny this, and then he just rears up. I mean, that is just something to behold. Getting big at the ball like that. It's going to be a force in September. Joe, he's in great form.
Subbed out. Lohman came in. Wilmot having a breather alongside Grant Birchall. Dunkley clears it out of the square. Cameron, Webster, Wilkie, Windager, Sinclair, Rayner, Lohman in a dangerous area. Webster, Hill somehow Got the ball to Clark. Still takes his time trying to get rid of it. Cameron dodges. Marshall front position. Crouch. Spun as he was tackled. Brisbane attack again. Sinclair classed the role defender. Lohman wanted a kick. Wasn't able to get boot to ball. Stocker piles on. McCluggage gets a run at it. Gets round onto the left. Wonderful finish, Hugh McCluggage. Lions now flexing their muscles.
It's a great individual effort, Hugh McCluggage. I thought he'd be keen just to quickly centre the ball, but he realised he had a little bit more time and space if he could break the first tackle. It's a great tap from McInerney that releases him. And if he can just break the Webster tackle, then he could come back infield, create a little bit of angle, and then hook it round with the left foot. Really good composure. Just had to evade the first player, and then he knew what he had in front of him. It's a great tap and it's a great finish.
Become a real goal-kicking midfielder now. That's his 5th goal in the last 5 games. Heavy score involvement. He's gone in at centre bounce clearances. He's been a danger out in that wing. He's an aggressive positioning wingman. He likes to stand goal side of his man and challenge in different ways.
Saints now being challenged. Zorko ripped off the footy. McInerney throws himself at it, as does Clark. Neal by hand is good to Dunkley. Another clearance for the Lions. Good one-on-one contest. Cordy brings it to ground. Danaher mops up. Bailey dangerous around the goals. Tackle floated high. Danaher starting to really get involved, but hooks it.
I love that hair pass in the middle of the ground from Lachie Neale. He just hung on to it till he found the right option. He was swinging in a tackle. Looked like he had to get rid of it quickly, but he didn't panic and was still able to find Zorko. This one here, he just hangs on to it in the last minute. Pops up for Dunkley, I should say, not Zorko.
Stocker clearing ball towards the ruckman. Brisbane starting to get their hands on the footy forward to centre. Dunkley tries to spin one round the corner. Cameron cleverly to Neal. Didn't quite work out. Idea was good. Back to Berry. Brisbane continuing to press. Berry launches it deep. Danaher's on his hands and knees. He might still get it, Joe. He doesn't quite get it.
Tell you what, I don't know how he didn't get a free kick. He was tackled without the ball. Extraordinary.
Was he doing the tackling or was he tackled?
I think the free kick belonged to Joe Danaher. He just missed it there. It was when he got thrown to ground by Cordy. It's a great block at the end.
Marcus Windhager, little step. Out of wing. Owens had them hanging off him. Took a good grab with Mitch Owens. Important hand in by the Lions. Here's a ball to be won. Membry's in there. Comes to Zorko. McKenna puts the foot down. Low ball. Oh, Cameron was running back towards goal.
It's a clutch mark.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it? How good is that? That's a goal saver.
He knew, Jason, he had to stick it. He had to stick it because Charlie was heading to the goal square for another one.
At pace. Webster with a 50.
Out in the middle there.
Jack Steele. Sharman was in good position. Zorko read it at ground level. Over the top of Hayes. Payne.
Need a couple of their star factor players to stand up here, the Saints, and create some scoring.
McInerney, great battle with Marshall. Clearing kick works out to Rayner.
Sinclair's generally that man. He's just having a rest on the bench at the moment. Desperately need Gresham to get himself into the mix.
Starcevic called to go towards centre wing. Berry thought he'd taken the mark. Crowd did as well. Philippo sends it forward. Leicester tracks it back. Harris Andrews and Zorko. Neal, forward hand pass to Berry. They're starting to run now, the Lions. Danaher has got a one-on-one. Cordy arrives late. Gets it back, the man from Ocean Grove. Good smother by Joey. Goes again on Stocker. Marshall tries to step around. Fletcher. Kick works out just. Windhager sees something he likes on the outer wing. Hill's got Wood. Uses him. Looping hand pass. Sharman. Good build up by the Saints. Ends in the hands of Membry.
They are just throwing it into the corridor. I mean, when your ruckman is balking around players, kicking to centre, effectively the centre corridor at centre half back.
Well, he had the right vision, Rowan Marshall. He knew they were out the other side. It was just a matter of whether they were able to get it back there, and they did.
It's aggressive. When it works big.
He's 10 weeks with the knee. Concussion. Kick two. Big kick this for Membry and the Saints and all their fans tuning in from 49. Hooks it. Just sneaks it home for a score.
Brad Jackson. Yours. That's not five.
Brisbane have only been involved in 3 games for the year, decided by 10 points or less. So it's great practice for them if they can just find a way to take some time off the clock here and not concede a score or two. It's great training coming into September.
Leicester to Berry. McCluggage. Controlling the tempo of the Lions. Clever kick to Rayner. Archie's deep, as is Hipwood. Leicester, recipient of the hand pass. Goes more central towards McInerney. He's got 3 to compete with. Falls in a dangerous spot. Sinclair's there.
Yours.
Pokes it out in front of Butler.
In many ways, the Lions have turned things around in this last quarter. Their leading clearances 7-3 for the 4th term and 9-4 inside 50, so starting to get back up on top.
Yeah, if they maintain that territory battle, Lynchy, you're right, they will win the game. So that's why we're seeing the Saints take a few risks when they do win the footy. They've got to get the ball forward.
Look away again from McInerney. McCluggage. Dunkley, it's touched as it spins inside.
He's had 8 clearances today, the big O, and a lot of them just grabbing the ball and handballing it forward or quick kicking.
Just can't get it clear at the moment out of defence. Higgins races after it. Wobbles it down to the wing. Membry gets the bounce. Got Butler ahead of the footy. Woods charging inside. Butler needs someone to get forward, so he has to delay a little bit, take a bit of time. Good contest, Membry. McKenna got the answers at the moment. The Lions. Berry lopes down the outer flank. Zorko's out the back, barrels it forward, it bounces and bounces.
There'll be some St Kilda supporters at home frustrated that Butler didn't get the ball in, but he had to hold it up. Ryan Lester was down there by himself, so he would have kicked it straight to him if he went straight away.
Yeah, I thought Payne did a really good job too, just running him down and keeping defensive side of him, and making him just bomb away in the end and not pinpoint a pass.
Sinclair started the chain. He's now got it defensive side of the wing.
Oh, that's 50. No. Brisbane guarding corridor now. You can see them on the inboard side, 45 degrees from this kick, not allowing an easy switch, forcing the Saints the long way home. Sinclair's looking. He wants to come in. There's nothing available.
3 possessions in the chain, Sinclair. Not much to go to ahead of the footy. Andrews with the big fist. McCluggage. Lester. Now Lohman.
Yours.
Delicate little ball to Rayner. Now Coleman. Hipwood streaming inside. That's where Zorko attempts to put the footy, but Wilkie's use of the body in the contest was fantastic. Time starting to become an issue now for the Saints.
Just didn't look like he had great awareness. Eric Hipwood thought he was just going to run onto the ball, maybe take the mark, and thought he'd beaten his opponent, but Callum Wilkie's one heck of a defender. Always finds a way to get there.
Need to kick through the Saints. 7 and change on the clock. Wood, Butler.
It's probably their best chance. These sort of stoppages where they can run and gun, take some risks, try and get back in the game or lose by 5 goals, doesn't really matter. Take an opportunity to run.
Crouch running back in the opposite direction. Stocker will be under immediate pressure.
Just too good defensively, Brisbane. Just been on their game in this 4th quarter.
It's still an uncomfortable margin for both teams. I mean, St Kilda need to make something happen to get back into it, but Brisbane haven't been able to put them away with all the territory dominance they've had. They dearly love another one. They'd love to make it a 4-goal game.
Marshall up high into the Brisbane sky. Coleman sees it across the line. Half back for the Saints for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Can't get it clear of there.
It's an extra 10 scoring shots, though, for just a 15-point margin.
Marshall again grabs it out of the ruck. Now they've got it up towards the wing. Is there an opportunity? Owens, smooth mover. Scoops it out by hand to Burns. Got the overlap run. Wanganeen-Milera is a good user. Brisbane have got numbers back. He needs to go on the 45, and he does.
Super kick. Super kick.
And super run from Owens to get over there. He started in front of me on the far wing, just power running.
Now they can really put pressure on the Lions. It was the only option he had in the end. They had numbers back deep, the Lions, but that's a beautiful square-up kick, and as Lynchy said, great work rate from Mitch Owens. Just needs to follow up with a good kick.
Kicked 25 goals for the season as Owens. This one of the most important, and it never looked like it. It sprays wide now to the full.
Yeah, a bit of fatigue there, I think. 10 marks inside 50 for the Saints today. You just wonder what sort of a difference Max King may have made down there, Jason.
So what does their forward line look like in a couple of weeks' time, Kingy? Because you've got Hayes, you've got Memory, you've got Philippou playing today. King comes back in. You think one of them has to drop out?
Yeah, spot on.
Which one?
Well, you would say Hayes, but he's been pretty solid today.
Berry wasn't happy with the treatment he received. He gives it to McCluggage. Happy to take a bit of time off the clock. The Lions in hand, but not completely done. Could be with a goal here. Lohman shows a clean pair of heels, gets through 3 tackles, snaps it around the corner.
So that would have been some goal. They just want to lock it in now. Oh, he's gone outside.
Got a run and gun now, the Saints. Gresham decides to do just that. Might work out for Butler. Leicester does well. Keeps him in check.
Need a goal quickly, the Saints. Need to put a little bit of scoreboard pressure back onto the Lions. A clearance and an inside 50 entry.
Wilmot creates space. Got some dash. Will come back the other way. Wilkie again.
That's the kick they're looking for. That's the one they've got to hit. Open up the ground.
Brad Hill takes on Archie. Coleman gets a hand on it. Gresham ground level. Spits it back out wide. Burns wants it from Crouch. Gets it. Just an up and under. Does really well though. Marshall. Need a goal here, the Saints, from this entry. Bounces off the chest of Filippo. Windhager. Can he do something? Windhager. Tackle slides down from Rayner. Holding the ball.
Yeah, great tackle. He evaded the first one. Ducked into the second one. That's why there was no high contact given. So he beats the first tackle there, and you can see him drop down.
Golden opportunity blown. It's a great inside 50 kick from Marshall.
Now they'll just try and manage the clock, the Lions.
Scrappy. McCluggage good enough to make it look better than it was. It's an aggressive ball in the middle. Wilmot just hangs in the air. He's done some good things this turn. Gives it to Fletcher. Brisbane looking to land the knockout blow. Cameron held Webster.
And smart. He's played it to Charlie, has he?
I couldn't believe Lachie Neale took that kick back into the corridor to a 1-on-3. How good was Wilmot in the middle? He went up, raked it down with one hand, then picked up the loose ball, dodged 3 players and kept it alive.
He just offers something different off half-back.
I like it. Every time I see him, I get more impressed. You can see the jumper stretching there.
Both holding. Always goes to the forward.
And shoot.
Charlie Cameron. He's kick 2.
This is the game right here.
To ice it and put Brisbane into a top 2 position. Home finals away.
That's a bad miss. They've had some bad misses all day. 9 goals, 17. You leave yourself open. That puts the game to bed if he kicks that.
Sinclair goes straight down the middle towards memory. Andrews knew what was coming, fisted it away. McCluggage. Left foot. Well done, Sinclair.
That's a brilliant contested mark.
Oh, he goes very short. Wilkie hasn't been paid the mark. Still, they can't kick a major, Brisbane.
Quick hand pass there to Danaher, and he kicks a goal.
Doing it with points.
Did it flick the post? It's just going to check.
Kyle Lohman, I realise he's desperate to get a goal
underway.
and get himself into this team, Jace.
Yeah.
The handball was the go there.
We need the edge. We need the edge, Kingy.
Do we have the edge on the point posts?
The boundary umpire is in absolutely perfect position.
Yeah. Must have low confidence, Chase.
Well, if we haven't got the edge, we should just be asking the boundary umpire. And if he agrees
Review
with the
complete.
goals.
Looking at these angles, we can see there is a gap between the ball and the post at all times. Decision on scoreboard.
straight into the middle of the ground. Filippo, one or two Saints that flies. He brings it down. Membry's coming back with a flight. Teammate Sharman there. Membry marks.
That is incredibly poor from Brisbane. Incredibly poor. Everyone knew the long kick up the middle was coming, and they didn't have anyone tall there far enough back to actually kill the ball forward.
To provide something for Saints fans, Membry looking for a third. From right on 50, Membry hits it really well. Floats home. 3 for Membry. 2 in a minute and a half.
Well, Ross had just put Jack Sinclair, Rowan Marshall, Jack Steele on the bench. What do you do now, Jason? You're back within 10 points with 90 seconds to go.
Look where Joe Danaher is. He's 10 metres too shallow. Harris Andrews can't get there. That ball was held up while we had a review for a score. Everyone knew they were going to go long straight down the middle, and they weren't set up for it, Brisbane. That's really disappointing from their on-field leaders not to have that structure right.
Good finish from Tim Membry. He's worked hard today. He's got the 3.
So you make for an interesting last 30 or 45 seconds so they can kick another quick one. The Saints.
And you've still got Sinclair, Marshall and Steele on the bench.
Yeah.
Can the Saints pinch the clearance? Hayes thinks so. Milera. Owens, they're battling to get it forward. Crouch. Owens will come again. Does well to pick it up cleanly. Now Burns. Here's the kick inside. There's a little wrestle on. Mark taken. Oh. And taken to ground.
Does he have the journey, Jack Higgins, is the question. How far back has the umpire got him? You'd think he'd struggle.
Going to centre it. They need to mark the Saints from the back of the pack. Gets over the top of Owens. Neal spins out of trouble. Brisbane fans roar. Danaher. They're back in control of the lines. McCluggage tries to just work one round the corner. Wanganeen-Milera takes the grab. Plays on. Has to. Hacks it off the outside. Might work out. Hayes, he played on. Berry gets him. And that should be it.
Gee, that's lucky from a Brisbane perspective. They've done some things that they won't reflect upon too happily when they review this. It's probably a game they should have put away a lot earlier. It's kept the Saints interested.
Wilmot playing out the last rights to Berry. So the Saints fans will be watching other games to see where and when and how they're playing next week.
Sets up the Lions for a good finals campaign, doesn't it?
Brisbane still undefeated at home in 2023. They sew up second on the ladder. They get the run at the home finals. And the Saints need to keep an eye on what's still coming. Brisbane by a point at quarter time, 14 at half time, 6 at three-quarter time. 2-goal winners in the end. And they will finish second.
It felt like a greater gap in the game for a large part. 2 goals, 7 from set shots from Brisbane left St Kilda in the game, but they kept fighting the Saints. Max King forward, who knows, but Brisbane just clinical in the end, Jason. I think it was a pretty strong performance. They raised the bar with their pressure when they needed to.
So they get to 30-3 since round 5, 2021. But it's the game that should have been put away a lot earlier. So they've won this by 12 points and they're all behind. Let's go down to Alistair Lynch.
Thanks, Jace. With Charlie Cameron, we'll just have a look at the record here at the Gabba. You must be elated to put this one away. It was a frustrating night at times.
Yeah, we just didn't have any composure going inside 50. We were being too direct because they had a lot of numbers behind the ball. So we were able to change it up throughout the stages of the game. But yeah, man, we didn't finish our work. So, but it was a good tight win, close win. So happy with that.
Absolutely. I mean, it looked like at three-quarter time, Fags wouldn't have been overly happy with. St Kilda started to move the ball, got on top in clearances and converted their opportunities.
I think all that first half, I think we were on top, but it's just we couldn't finish them inside 50. So we've got to look at it, but another good win.
What about yourself? I mean, we're looking at a few of your efforts up forward. You look like when you got behind Webster, that's obviously a real strength of you. You're able to turn him around.
Yeah.
Once you get behind, you're hard to stop.
Yeah, I got lucky. I think I tripped up with him on this one here, but I'm just trying to back myself in and trying to get at the back. So he's a good quality player, so I think it's going to be a tough matchup tonight, but yeah, just got lucky.
It was certainly a tough matchup, and people at home might be wondering why you don't take your mouth guard out for the interview. Now tell us why you've still got it in.
One, I can't talk. I had a list, but yeah, and then the front gate's missing, so we'll be right. I have to see dentists at the end of the year in November until I get them done, so.
So the message to young kids, wear mouth guards at all times?
Wear mouth guards at all time, kids, and stay safe.
Absolutely. Well played again, mate. Congratulations on a top 2 spot, and best of luck for September, mate.
Thank you. Have a good one, everyone.
So the Brisbane Lions defeat the Saints by 12 points to lock in a home qualifying final at the Gabba, setting themselves up beautifully for a red-hot crack at the 2023 Premiership. 17 wins, 6 losses this home and away season. That is some sort of a